Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a makeup tutorial on this look right here. I was actually doing my makeup for fun the other night. Sometimes I like to sit down and do my makeup just without filming it because it's therapeutic for me. And I posted the photo of it and you guys loved it. And I also wanted to recreate the look that I wore when I went to go see JLo. I kind of just morphed the two looks together since they were both bronzy looks and I didn't want to put them like up back to back because I already get called out for doing too many bronzy looks. If you guys don't follow me on Snapchat, which you should, I went to go work with Kohl's and JLo in Vegas and it was a dream, an absolute dream. I'm gonna talk about it for a second. If you guys want to skip to the tutorial, I'll timestamp it, but if you want to hear how it went meeting JLo, then just keep watching. So I flew out to Vegas and they set up a session to get us all styled with JLo's stylist, Rob. He was awesome. So he was fitting us in all of the JLo and Kohl's collection. I wasn't really mentally prepared for JLo to walk in that day because we weren't supposed to meet her till the next day. I guess Steven and everybody knew about it, but they were keeping it from us. The minute she walked in, I didn't notice her until I heard her voice, and she was right in front of me, and she's all, "Hey, what's up?" I'll never forget what I said. I was like, "Don't do this to me." I said, "Don't do this to me," because I wasn't mentally prepared and I wasn't ready, and I just like couldn't take it because I was so excited. She gave me the big hug, and there's a photo of me hugging JLo, and you just see my face and my creepy ass like Tales of the Crypt hands like just hugging her like this, and my face was like this. She was wearing like a t-shirt and her body looked toned. Like literally a loose t-shirt, but I still saw the tone in her body. I talked to her about the fact that she wore my key sunglasses and she was really just like inspirational and sweet. And then we got to go see her perform at her show in Vegas and it was just like one of the best performances I've ever seen. I'll put a few clips of it here. I'm still checking from the bar. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. I didn't think I could like her more, but then after I saw it, I was like, how is it possible? Like, I just respected her so much more. We got to go backstage and see like her dressing room, and she had photos of her as Selena, and I thought that was so cool. It was a great experience. I just had the time of my life. Steven said he hasn't seen me smile that much in a long time. Like, my face was beaming, you know? I was just like this the whole time. It was so cool. I'm like, it's crazy that my job like brought me to meet somebody that I admire so much that like I would have never thought back in the day that I'd be working with her. I mean, it's crazy to think like, yeah, I was working with JLo and couldn't wrap my brain around the fact that I would have never thought that. And then here I am. It was all in all just like such a great experience. It was one of those things in my life that like I'll never forget because I've always looked up to her. People always tell me we look alike, which is one of the biggest compliments you guys could give me. You guys always tell me that. I actually have a picture of her and I together that is almost creepy because we ended up kind of smiling the same. It's crazy. It was awesome. It was really, really cool. I had such a great experience. Anyways, I think that's everything about the experience that I was going to talk about. I know a lot of you wanted to hear about it, so that's kind of like the rundown. Oh, and before we get started, I wanted to mention that I will be at Gem Beauty New York since a lot of you guys are asking me on Twitter. I hope to see you guys there. If you haven't bought tickets, I do have a 40% off code that'll leave right over here. If you guys are interested in getting tickets, it's September 17th through 18th. Maybe I'll see you guys there. So anyways, this is a makeup tutorial, so we're just gonna go ahead and get started with the tutorial. So I've already primed my face with the new Elcie Pearl Radiance Primer, and then I quickly applied a layer of the NARS Weightless Luminous foundation just with my hands. We're just gonna move on to the eyes. I'm using the Benefit Air Patrol as the eyeshadow base. I also did this eye off camera because I always do this eye off camera. I just did it beforehand. I'm just gonna apply this base onto the lid with the flat Urban Decay brush, and then I'm going to work my way up to the brow bone. You wanna make sure to get a nice even layer all across the eye. I like this eyeshadow base because it's not like a super light color. I blend it out really nice and sheer so that when the eyeshadow peeks through, it still looks like skin underneath. It's not like super, super light when I want to do more natural looks. For these kinds of looks, it's fine to have something like soft ochre painterly, but when it comes to, you know, more natural looks where I want to have a light eyeshadow, I love this eyeshadow base. I'll be using the Morphe 350 palette. It looks like this, lots of warm tones. I'm gonna take the lightest color in the palette, which is this matte bone shade right over here. I'm gonna use that to highlight my brow bone and also bring it down down into the crease. This is pretty standard with all my makeup looks. I always like to set the eyeshadow base with a bone colored eyeshadow, and then it also highlights the brow bone. So you start applying the most color right under the brow bone because that is where you want it to be the lightest. That's where you want the lift in your eyes. That's where you want the highlight. But then whatever's left over, that's what you drag into the crease. I don't know what happened to my brow today in this region. We had a little difficulty, if you will. Next, I'm taking a MAC 224 old school blending brush. This was always my transition brush back in the day. And I'm going into this orange shade here. So this is gonna be my transition shade. I'm laying this down first, and it's also going to be the shade that gets blown out the most. Start in the crease, but then take it up above the crease. We're gonna really layer eyeshadows today because this look is all about blending. Very tedious, but it looks so good after. If you want to put in the time, it'll look really good. Keep this brush nearby. This brush is going to be really helpful to blend throughout the rest of your makeup look. Next, I'm picking up this blending brush by Real Techniques. It's the 203 brush. We're going to go into this nice warm toned brown over here. This color is going to be the next shade that shows. So it's going to be a gradient from the first color to a darker color to a darker color. I'm laying down the color with my brush this way to get a really, really dense line right in the shape that we made here. Then to blend it out even more, it's always nice to hold your brush up this way. And that's because these bristles right down here will blend out the crease for you, basically. Realistically, I spend about 5 minutes blending in this dark color because as the shades get darker, I spend more time making sure that everything's really nice and blended. Next, I'm gonna go into this rich chocolate brown right over here in the corner, and I'm using a Smith 232 brush. I love Smith brushes. They are probably my favorite blending brushes right now, which is crazy because up until this time, like MAC 217 was my favorite, but they definitely are better. This is going to go right on top and deepening up once again. And it's okay if you get it on the lid because we're gonna cover the lid anyways. Try not to, but it's okay if you do. And also take it on this outer V part of the eye too. So once I laid down that dark brown, I'm going back into the Real Techniques brush that I use the lighter brown with, and I'm gonna buff out those edges and really smooth everything out. Don't worry about getting eyeshadow anywhere over here because you can clean that up afterwards with your concealer. The one thing that the palette does not have is a black eyeshadow, so I'm using MAC Carbon for this. I haven't used this one in so long. This used to be one of my favorite black eyeshadows to use, and I really like the Luxie 227 because it's like a really thin, flat almost blending brush, so if you want to get like a precise line like this black over here, this is a good one for that. And this is of course going to be the lowest shade that we lay down. I'm almost putting this in the crease, but then a little bit underneath it as well. And the reason I'm putting it a little bit underneath is because you have to adjust this to your eye crease. Mine folds in when my eyes look straight, so I kind of have to place it right here in order for it to just be black in the crease. Just gonna put that in there, blend it out. Just gonna keep dipping in and blending this in. And of course, after laying down black, I'm going back into the Real Techniques brush that we laid down the shade right after the transition shade, which was the lightest brown, and I'm just gonna buff those edges out. When I buff out any edges, I do it with a really, really soft hand, so you don't want to interrupt the eyeshadow too much, just like a little blend. When I use metallic or shimmery eyeshadows, I love to use a flat concealer brush, and I love to dampen the brush before using the metallic eyeshadow because it just makes it a little bit more vibrant. So I'm using setting spray. You could use Fix Plus, you could even just use water, eye drops, whatever you got. I'm gonna go into this bronze shade right over here, this nice metallic bronze. It's kind of more of a taupey bronze. And with that, we're gonna apply that to the lid and also carve the crease. So as you can see, I got eyeshadow on the lid, but this is the time where you take that flat concealer brush, and this is why I like a flat concealer brush, because it's more dense, so you can get a sharper line than something that has bristles that are fluffy and they're just gonna be like flailing around all over your lid. You want something nice and dense so that you can carve out and clean up the crease. And when your brush is wet with the metallic eyeshadow, it'll also help you carve it out as well. So for the Instagram picture, I just applied this shadow without the glitter. So this is how it looked on the Instagram pic, just this bronzy taupe shade. You could leave it just like this, but I wanted to add some glitz. I added a little glitter, so stop now if you just want to keep it like this. After I lay down the base color on the lid, I always go back in with the blending brush that I use in the crease and give it a few more blends just so that the eyeshadow on the lid kind of seamlessly blends into the crease. And it's not just like a harsh line, because it's not really what we're going for. We're not going for that harsh line. We want it to kind of blend, mesh into the other eyeshadows. Smoky. So now we're gonna go in with the glitter. This is Urban Decay Midnight Cowboy. Best glitter for the eyes out there, and it's nice because it's like a liner. You have nice control over it, and I just want like more of a scattered, glittered look. It's hard to see on camera, but it starts to give you that wet effect, the lid, when the lid looks wet. And then I like to do one thin layer before I do the liner, and then if I do the liner and I feel like there's gaps, you go back in. So we're gonna start with that thin layer. So next for liner, we're gonna use Inglot gel liner. This is my favorite. And I like to also use the Inglot DURALINE drops. You just put one drop in any gel liner product. It doesn't have to be the Inglot gel liner, but brow gels, like brow pomades or anything that's in a pot that has the tendency to dry up, this kind of just like revives it. And you just put one drop and mix it in onto your brush. It's gonna make your eyeliner application so much smoother. A liquid and a gel having a baby, that's what kind of makes it. I'm using a MAC 263 brush. I'm just gonna start the end of my lash line here. So once you make the line outwards, I'm just gonna flip and make the line back. Just like that, and now you fill it in. It's a long wing. This is the kind of wing you wear when you just want to tell people not to mess with you, you know? They know you're a bad bitch when you have a wing like this. Now, I applied a little bit of mascara, and I'm gonna apply a false lash. This is Queen Bee by Koko Lashes. Give it to me. So before we finish off the lower lash line, I like to do my concealer first so that all the lower lash line shadow blends into the concealer. I'm gonna be using, of course, my favorite NARS creamy concealer. I'm gonna use Bisque. This is a little bit more of a salmon toned to cancel out darkness. Oh crap, my beauty blender isn't here. Then I'm gonna go in with Ginger, which is, you know, my shade. Also, I like to take my concealer and sharpen up under the wing. Thank you. Blend it out. Once you apply your concealer, you can see like it makes the look just pop. Everything starts to look brighter, cleaner, changes up the game. Right, and to set the under eyes, I will be using this is the RCMA powder. I actually came up on this because Mac Daddy left it at the shoot we did together. He said I could have it, so I've been using it. I really, really like it. Oh yeah, I didn't update you guys on the Kat Von D setting powder. I like don't know how I feel about the finish. It was like a little bit too sparkly. It had like some sparkles. Not sparkles, but it had like a sheen that I wasn't really working for me. On an everyday basis when I do my makeup, I don't always do this baking thing, just sometimes. This is my favorite brush to dust away powder under the eye, and it's the Tapered Highlighter F35 by Sigma. Bomb. This is everything. It has a little tapered point that gets into those creases, those unfortunate fine lines. And you can get into that inner corner. Gotta dust everything away. Whatever's left over on my brush, I'll go over the center of my forehead, my nose, and then my chin. I don't like to powder too much. So we're gonna go ahead and finish off the eyes and then end with the rest of the face. So now I'm gonna take a liner brush. This one is by Maybelline. Ooh, this is the best eyeliner I've ever tried. Creamy, dark, I swear I've picked up like some high-end eyeliners and I'm like it's not working. It's not working, but this one's so bomb. It's the best one I've ever tried. Maybelline Lasting Drama Waterproof Gel Pencil. This is bomb. This is the shade Sleek Onyx. So you want to take this and we're gonna really heavily apply it to the outer corners of the eyes. Do you see how easy that goes on in dark? Like, damn. So I'm taking the light brown and the orange that we used in the crease. Just gonna soften it up a little bit. And I'm also taking a little bit of that black eyeshadow and setting the liner as well. We want it to be smoky and dramatic. This is the best pencil brush of life. And I have two of them so that I could use black on one. And then I'm going back into the orange and the brown, blending out right under that. So for the inner corner highlight, I'm gonna mix this golden shade with this more champagne shade, I'm gonna say. So I'm just gonna put that in the inner corners. So now it's time to bronze up the skin. I'll be using my Guerlain bronzer in shade 05. This bronzer is nice because it just kind of bronzes everything up quickly. And I'm just gonna start swirling the bronzer into the hollows of the cheeks, a little bit across the nose, just to kind of give an all-over tan, and then of course around the hairline. All over the forehead except this center part you wanna keep light still. When I'm doing a bronzy look, I love to have like an all-over bronze with the matte bronzer and then an all-over glow with something like Gold Deposit by MAC or Betty Luminizer by The Balm is also a good one. So I like to swirl the brush in there and lightly run this over the same areas that we applied the bronzer. You guys know I like to, put a shoulder highlight when I take my photos because if your face is glowing and your body is not, it's like a really big disconnect, so I like to put it everywhere. So now it's time to highlight my favorite part using Laura Geller Gilded Honey. This is one of my favorite highlights. And the new Sigma Strobing Fan Brush. This is the first time I'm using this brush. Ooh, this brush is like the perfect size because it's like a mini fan brush. Oh yes, it fits right on the cheekbones. Get that nice C shape going. Blush, I'll be using Excite by illamasqua. Just a very little amount because this is a potent blush. See? I already went too much. Lastly, for the lips, I'll be using Uncensored by Artist Couture. This is like a really, really pretty nude gloss, but it's pigmented. Just gonna do a sheer layer of this to get the lips nice and juicy. So on top of that, I'm gonna be using the Jouer Skinny Dip Lip Topper. This stuff is like, boom, metallic. It's like sparkly, it's so pretty. You wanna set your face with setting spray, even though I'm about to take it off anyways and go to sleep, because it's late as fuck. I don't know why I'm even setting my makeup, to be honest. I'm not going anywhere. Alright guys, so that is it for the tutorial. This is the finished makeup look. Really hope that you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for requesting it. I always love when you guys request the bronzy makeup looks because I'm always ready to do them. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! God damn it. Dancing, yeah! Is it twisting up or am I just pretending in my brain? Oh, shiznit, what the frick? Of course, I think I just coughed up my hairball. There's a piece of lint stuck to my face. It's just haunting me. God, this piece of lint. Fuck.